the scene that you have is 7005, if you want to play along with me. With this, all we're going to do is make just some basic lights in the scene, kind of correct them so they get what we want, and get us a real simple light setup so that at least you can show off your model. You can see what I've got here. I've got actually a direct light, directional light, that's shining down on the tank from up in the top right corner. The directional light is like a spotlight, except that it shines kind of from an area straight down onto the tank, much more like sunlight would, where a spotlight is a point that radiates out in a certain direction. So I've used a directional light in this case, but you'll see my shadows are too dark. It's kind of bland. All I'm going to do is jump over here and add some more lights. So I'm under Create, Lights, and I'm going to put Omni lights in the scene. I'm going to add 2 Omni lights and position one of them, get a hold of it, one of them behind the tank. So behind the tank to the camera back here, and the other one I'm going to place kind of in what would be over my left shoulder of the camera. There we go. And this one's going to be a little bit closer to the ground. This Omni light over what is my left shoulder is going to be high. Now this one over my left shoulder here, you can see it here. I'm going to go over to my parameters. I'm going to tint this one just a slight blue, just to cool down the shadows a bit. It's not going to cast shadows, so shadows are off, and the multiplier is going to be very low, about a 0.4 we'll try. The one that's over here on the back side of the tank, this one's going to be pretty bright, and I'm going to make it a much whiter light. This one's kind of like a pseudo kick light, basically. I'm going to make this one a 1, and this one is going to sit very low, just enough to kind of cast some light across the top of our tank. I'm going to render this and see what I got. I don't expect it's going to look perfect right now. There we go. We'll see what we've got. You can see the extra volume that it adds to that tank just by having a few more lights there. Okay. Not bad, but I think what I'm going to do is this light back here, I'm going to lower a little bit more close to the ground. I'm going to bump this one up a little bit more. And this light over here, I'm going to darken a little bit more. This is the one over my left shoulder. I'm going to make a 0.2. I'm also going to change my camera view here, or my perspective view. Click something on the tank so that I can rotate around it. There we go. I'm going to render this. I have a feeling that directional light's probably going to need to move. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I don't like that the shadows are on my side of the tank. Sometimes I like that, but I don't like it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the directional light, which looks like a little blocky arrow. I'm going to rotate this around to the other side. Rotate it so it's down on the tank again. There we go. You can see it right here is the arrow pointing down at the tank. And this light here that was originally over my left shoulder, I'm going to move over to my right and give that a try. So I basically just flipped the 2 main lights directional, and we should see something that looks like the opposite lit effect. There we go. I think I like that a little bit better. So go ahead and play with your lights. The positioning of them for this first class is not something that's going to be counted against you too much. If you can make a scene look good with lights, you'll be in much better shape than if you can't. But we'll have another class down the line that'll deal with cameras and lights. Most of the time we deal with our cameras and lights in our game engine, not so much in Max or Maya. So just enough information to get your scene lit.